Would you like to hold the steering wheel?
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to today's Rowdy.com Big Three with race car driver JJ Yeley. My name is Bassmasters. That's Buzz Cutler. We're talking Texas today, JJ.
Texas?
What do you think of when you think of Texas? Is it speed? Is it speed?
No, it's cowboy hats and boots.
Six shooters.
Cowboy hats, boots, and horses.
When you go down to Texas, do you seek out like some Tex-Mex?
No.
Barbecue?
Yes, there's actually a place that is somewhere in Fort Worth that has the best Mexican food.
Really?
And they don't have menus. You either get fajitas or you get enchiladas.
That's it?
That's it.
There's nothing wrong with either of those
Well,
things.
they bring you everything. They'll bring you tacos and all that stuff, but you either get one or the other.
And after you have those fajitas and enchiladas and you go to the racetrack, then what do you think about it?
I haven't had any issues.
No issues?
No issues. If it's good Mexican food, you have no issues. It's just like anything else. You go have Taco Bell, you're gonna have some issues. Bad issues.
Do you have issues at the racetrack when you're trying to get off of the corner and onto the straights with some weird wacky transition?
No, I think that was just Stewart.
Oh, did he have that problem?
Yeah,
well, the track is very fast. The track is very fast.
We're a whole different place.
The track is very fast.
Texas is very fast, and it's weird fast because it doesn't have a ton of banking. It's fairly rough still, but it's one of those racetracks that the corners are just round enough. You carry so much speed. You have a car that you can keep on the bottom. It's really changed with these new cars and the way the setups are. That it seems like the tighter you can make the car, obviously still make it turn, the faster you're going to be. I know that last fall, Elliott Sadler sat on the front row. I don't think he sat on the pole.
I think he
But
sat on the
they
front row.
they just kept tightening the car up. Next thing you know, he puts down a monster lap. He's out front, and then the race he was way too tight. So I know when I drove there last year at 36 we were exceptional in practice. They made some changes, freed the car up, and we were horrible in qualifying.
So it's like just free enough to get through the center.
You actually better to be a little bit tight than to be a little bit free.
Okay.
For at least qualifying.
So loose is fast, not true here.
Only on Days of Thunder.
Now, you mentioned it's an abrasive track, so obviously a downforce track, you want to be out front, you want to be in clean air, but you may not try a late two-tire stop to gain track position here because of the abrasiveness of the track?
No, I think track position still overrides everything else in Texas, and because it doesn't have the banking, so you don't get the lateral grip from the racetrack, obviously tires are more important. Texas is D-shaped, so the most difficult part of the racetrack is usually trying to get off of turn 2. The back straightaway jumps out at you. You lose banking almost at the same exact point. So, you can be coming off a corner thinking everything's great. Next thing you know, you run into a push, and you almost knock the fence down. I believe it happened to Matt Kenseth when he was taking the lead. Looked like he was going to win a race. Picked the throttle up really early exiting turn 2. Lost the nose. Almost got in the fence. Lifted. Lost the lead and ended up second.
Now, if you lose a nose like that, is it that the car starts to slide and it's hard to, it doesn't stop sliding? Like, if you just get out of the gas, you start picking up a push, you get out of the gas or loose. Like, when your car loses grip like that, like, how long does it take for you to regain control of a car when you're going that fast? Do you see what I'm asking you?
No, I'm with you. When you lose, like, front grip, like he did coming off of turn 2, lifting almost makes it worse in a way because then you transfer the weight of the car, which also makes the push last longer. So, you might get on the brakes. It's all a matter of just bringing the speed back enough to where you'll get the grip back from the tires. But sometimes, it may be 50 foot. Sometimes it's 100 foot. Sometimes it's after
you get that grip.
Sometimes
back.
It's after you already hit the fence. That's obviously too late too bad for you. But it's just weird because you can have that grip, think you're great, and then all of a sudden, if it's aero, if it's just overall front grip, you'll lose it. And the next thing you know, you're off the gas. You kind of have your hands turned like this, and you're going, oh, don't hit the fence, and then all's well.
Okay, all's well that ends well.
I think of Texas sort of in the same family as Atlanta. I assume most people do. But what are the differences? Has Texas got as wide of a groove as Atlanta, or is it a little bit more limited in your options?
It starts out a little bit more limited than what you have at a place like Atlanta, but usually by the end of the race, you'll see guys running 2 and 3 abreast. There's a large bump that goes from the bottom clear to the top over the tunnel in turns 1 and 2. That really seems to upset the car a fair amount. So you'll see guys really try to run right on the edge of the bottom. It seems if you can keep the car right in that white line, there's always just a little bit more grip than if you miss it by, say, 3 or 4 feet.
Now, as far as the sensation of speed at the racetrack, how would it compare to, and I know this seems weird, but like Bristol is a short track, but it's got a real great sensation of speed, from what I understand.
Dover the same,
through
right.
the corner. How would a Texas compare to like a Dover or a Bristol or someplace like that, or Atlanta, as far as sensation of speed, what you're feeling on your body?
Well, if you have a good handling race car, it doesn't feel like you're going fast at all. It's when you have an evil handling race car and you're running, 200+ mile an hour, holding on for dear life, thinking, as soon as I lose grip, I'm back in the fence. And I've done that once before in a Nationwide car, and it was one of the nastiest hits I've ever had in my career. Spun going into turn one, back in the fence, and got hit by another car a little bit later. But a place like Dover, Bristol, maybe not so much the sense of speed as much as you just don't get time to relax.
Right, everything happens
You go to
so
a place
fast,
like Dover
right.
that's a 1 mile racetrack where you're on the gas for so long, very, very fast. Same deal. You just don't get that chance to really relax. That's when the speed sensation really kicks in. But Texas, obviously being one of the faster racetracks, because it doesn't have a ton of grip, it's a little bit rougher than some of the racetracks. It's one of those places that's definitely a white knuckle ride.
All right, now if you were to pick a guy that you might think would do well here, who would a pick be for you? Besides yourself, of course.
It's a tough pick. Usually, and I don't know why this is, the Roush guys usually do very good when it goes to Texas. So you can't count out a Carl Edwards, Greg Biffle, Matt Kenseth. Tony Stewart usually runs well there. It's a crapshoot. Jeff Gordon has a tremendous track record there. So, it's usually the same players, but normally, for whatever reason, the Roush guys seem to be one of the lead candidates to beat.
Yeah. Although in recent history, Denny Hamlin has sort of stepped up his game at Texas. You wouldn't normally have thought of that as a traditional Denny Hamlin track, but certainly was last season.
Good point, Cutler.
Way to go.
And you silenced both of us. Well, that has been your Rowdy.com Big Three for today. Talking Texas with JJ Yeley. My name is Bass. That's Cutler. We'll see you next time.
Rowdy.com. Say it like it is.
Say what like it is?
Rowdy.com.